there's a really cool example of prayer about things that might not even be real about the world that we live in Nehemiah chapter 6. Hi, everyone. This is R.A. Sweeney here to bring you another passage from the book Praying with the Writings as part of the Praying with the Bible series. Today, I wanted to look at in Nehemiah chapter 6. There's a little prayer in verse 9, but I wanted to kind of look at the context of this prayer because I feel like it's wildly important for our context now. So in this part of the story, Nehemiah has come back to Jerusalem. He has rallied the people to start rebuilding the walls, and things are not going well. You could say they've got a bit of a morale problem in the tribe of the Israelites because it's just they're really struggling to keep people excited about building and moving forward and high spirited and all the things that go along with that. And so the neighboring peoples, they don't want Jerusalem to be rebuilt, and it's actually kind of a tragic story of why when you really look at how we got to this place. But they're opposing it, and so they're coming and they are berating the people, and they're slandering the people, and they're threatening the people. They are saying that they're sending messages to the king, and the king's going to come kill all of them because what they're doing isn't okay, and like there's all this bad PR being thrown their way about them coming in and trying to rebuild the wall around Jerusalem. And you can imagine how disheartening it is. And when you think about what's actually happening, when Nehemiah came to rebuild the wall, he had a royal decree to do it. So even if the king came and said, hey, no, don't be doing this, you can at least point to, we were doing it with permission. So like, that's not even true. The people are talking about like how the wall is going to collapse if a fox jumps on it. And that's clearly not true. Like the wall's being built and it's just fine. But like there's all this stuff that's coming to them that isn't true, but it still sucks for them to hear and it would be demoralizing. And so this prayer is lifted up in response to a bunch of wrong information, in response to a bunch of things that just really aren't true. And I think that's so important for our context because one, we are always in a context where people are trying to make us feel less than what we should feel about ourselves. There are people always trying to tear us down, trying to get a leg up over us by pushing us down, people trying to manipulate and oppress and take advantage of, and all those things. And to make it worse, there's so much misinformation in our culture that it's hard to know what is true. And in this scenario, what Nehemiah's prayer is doing is showing like, it doesn't matter what's true. It matters what you feel. If you're hearing things and it's upsetting you, bring it in prayer. Even if you know something isn't true, you can still bring it in prayer of like, God, like I'm hearing this and I'm worried about it, or I'm concerned, or it bugs me, or whatever. All of those things can be brought in prayer, regardless of whether or not it's based in anything real. So that's what I have to talk about this week. I hope it's a blessing. Thanks, everyone.